Season 4, Episode 8, where we watch Truck Night in America, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Robert Kitts.
I'm Harrison Hoffman.
Megabeth.
Brian Houston.
And this is James.
All right. At the start of this, you got to know this is special July 4th Hot Tub Pod. So it's Hot Tub Pod Night in America.
You might ask yourself what a hot tub pod is.
Annabeth, can you explain what a hot tub pod is?
Imagine potting in a hot tub.
Yeah. I can't imagine how well this audio is going to turn out, so I apologize at the top of this about that.
I'll do what I can, but there's only so much magic we can pull off when there's fireworks and planes.
Yeah.
And hot tub.
And a hot tub.
This is our first outdoor pod, so there's going to be some outdoor noises, and there's going to be maybe some hot tub noises. We'll see.
We did kill the Jets, though, so there's that.
Just sit back and enjoy the ambiance.
Hey, I really dig the on-location vibes, though. Like, I feel like we got a whole thing here. We could take live shows, be in a hot tub. I don't know.
It's true. It is like a special occasion. This is like, after 100 some of these, we're like actually like outside.
Oh, yeah.
First time.
I got to say special thanks to Emmy for building a pergola over this hot tub. It's really doing a nice double as our mic stands.
I mean, I think that this could be the start of our own reality show, Extreme Podding, where we go and try and pod in extreme locations.
Do we just talk about the locations the whole time then?
We're on a reality show about us podding in the extreme locations.
Do we end up doing an episode of our podcast about that reality show about the podcast?
Yes.
We'll definitely post a photo of what's going on here because it's definitely nuts. All right. Let's go on to the regular scheduled programming here. Rob, give us a description of Truck Night in America.
It's truck versus terrain as 50 truck owners from across the United States compete in grueling challenges that test their ingenuity and driving ability in Truck Night in America. Each episode of the self-contained competition series features 5 drivers in their personal customized trucks and Jeeps going head-to-head in 3 challenges, each testing a different vehicle attribute: speed, strength, and handling. Between each challenge, competitors demonstrate their craftsmanship by re-engineering their trucks for the next round. The last 2 finalists standing then take on a 3-mile truck-killing obstacle course known as the Green Hell, which challenges trucks and drivers to fly off jumps, climb a mountain of crushed cars, and tear through a snake-infested swamp. 5 trucks will enter to compete, but only one can win and take home the prize money and the title of Truck Night Champion. That's Truck Night in America on the History Channel.
That is, I think, one of the funniest things is this is on the History Channel.
Is there any kind of historical element to this show?
No. Minutia. Okay. All right. So the show is essentially, Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull Ranch, but with trucks. That's what the show is. You don't need to see that, but essentially it's a competition reality show between 5 people, and there's just like, and they're trucks, and there's like 4 judges that like, are they coaches or judges?
They're actually more coaches than judges, really. They don't really, like the competition is very cut and dry of which truck won and lost. There's not a lot of judging involved.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to say for the History Channel shows that we've seen, it's more like cut and dry who's the winner and who's not. It's not like a dancing you get a 9 instead of like, no, your truck just fucking didn't like do it.
Yeah.
So let's go over what happens in this show. So initially there's 5 trucks and they do this one straightaway race where there's like moguls and a jump and like some other crap. I don't remember. And the 5th person's eliminated from the show. Like you don't even know the fuck that guy is. No idea. Then there's 4 people left. Then they do this crazy like truck v truck kind of pooling.
Some kind of tug of war
situation. They eliminate somebody there. Then they do this like crazy like mud climb where they go through this like mini rock course and then climb up like a waterfall, and somebody gets eliminated there. And the last 2 get to do this crazy green hell course where it's just like this crazy obstacle course, and the fastest one there wins $10,000. And that's the show. I think that like each episode might have different beginning ones, but that Green Hell is definitely the end. So you know, that's essentially the show. And I think it was kind of entertaining. It was entertaining. Like I can't want to say the judges, but they're not really judges. They're
Coach / commentator.
the coaches are really interesting. Like I like the coach personalities.
I'm glad you brought up Broken Skull Challenge because there are a lot of parallels.
So it's like almost the same show.
I mean, there's a lot more trucks in this show.
I mean, like besides like the actual challenges, like there's a lot similarities between the two. And that was definitely one of my favorite shows of the season that we watched that.
And yeah, right from the start, when they just like, we're not going to intro these people, we're going to do a race, we're going to kick some guy off, and then we'll intro everyone else. Like that also was like Broken Skull Challenge, like of like, let's get going real quick, and then we'll worry about introing people after they've proven their mettle a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Just like, hey, the first 5 minutes of the show is not garbage. This is like, we're moving. Get on
They
the
come out
train.
and slap you right in the face, and you're like, okay, I'm into the show now. Let's watch it.
And that first race, like so much happened in that first race.
I have to say before we get into the race, like right before the race, this is the one that kind of turned me off was like the I keep saying the judges like come out and they're like they just make fun of the trucks. They're like, we got a Lexus out here, and they make fun of the Lexus, and they make fun of the Toyota, and they make fun of whatever. I'm just like, okay, is this going to be one of these like very negative shows? But like, this is the only negative segment in the entire show is them making fun of these trucks, and I'm like, why did you do that? You're setting the tone for this whole show by making fun of these trucks, and then you like every other aspect of the show is like encouraging people to like, we got this going, we're helping you, we're moving on, like, and I'm just like, why?
I think
Well,
it
this
play-
is sorry. you go.
I think it plays into the ridiculousness of the show because like they know that like just racing monster trucks and competing monster trucks is just insane already. So why not just make something that's like a little bit more entertaining?
I'm not saying it's not entertaining. Like, you don't even need that segment. Just like, these are the judges and make some jokes, but they don't need to make fun of the like cars.
Although, like, I really did appreciate them shit talking the Lexus guy because who shows up to like this insane dirt truck competition of fucking Lexus?
Yeah.
He must have dropped 2 credit cards.
No, but I think Harrison's on to something, which is like, I think I always said this out loud is, what is this guy doing with a Lexus? And then I really appreciate the guys shared a similar opinion of like, oh, okay, yeah, we're in this together. Like, why is that guy bringing a Lexus here?
Yeah, I mean, the Lexus I get, but he made fun of they made fun of all the other cars too.
Yeah, I
They
feel like
weren't-
it seems sort of like the like your first reactions to this truck. It's like, oh, what's your hot take? It's like the hot take segment.
Yeah, it was like a vibe of like, we're not going to intro the people, but let's intro the trucks.
Yeah, I don't know. It set like a bad vibe for me from the beginning, and it took a little bit for it to like wash away because there wasn't a whole lot of negativity after that.
Sure.
Which we've seen shows where like they're just making fun of people the whole show, and like that's just not fun.
Oh, I'll give you that. But one of the things I do love, to Rob's point, which is the focus is clearly on the vehicle. Like, it is on the truck. That is the personality of these shows. Like,
Yeah.
that was an amazing start. Like, don't worry about the people. It's just the truck. So you got Lexus guy, you got 2 Toyota people, you got this Japanese samurai.
Suzuki, I think.
Yeah, Suzuki samurai. And then there's one other one.
Yeah, I guess we should tee
Another
up
Jeep. Yeah.
the fact that these aren't like regular trucks. These trucks have like 40-inch tires on them.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like monster truck-esque level trucks almost.
It's like a mini Diesel Brothers situation.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah,
there's been
they're-
some,
they're
there've
not
been some
quite.
customizations.
yeah, but they're not regular trucks. They're not like, yo, you go buy a Ford F-150. This is like,
it's not a straight from the dealer street legal, take it to the dirt
yeah,
track.
I know. That's what I'm just trying to explain to the people in the audience. here,
Although
that
I
we're
would
not
almost,
talking about regular
I would
trucks.
almost like one of the trucks just is like an off the dealership thing.
Well,
Like,
the Lexus looked that way until, which is, we're getting in the minutia when they open
We're
the
in
doors.
the minutia now, guys.
And the suspension is literally through the floor of the SUV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, you cannot sit in the back seat of this SUV. It is no longer really an SUV.
It is a
full-on suspension through the floorboard.
it is a heavily customized thing. Like, there's not. It looks like a regular SUV actually, and like that's a big tires for the SUV. And you're looking like, and all these other cars are really raised, and this car's not raised that much. And then they look inside, and you're like, oh, because like he lowered the body onto like the suspension, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
very weird.
I mean, and I have to wonder with Lexus, I think that was ultimately its demise, which is it didn't have enough ground clearance for later obstacles. And I sort of question, why did he not just put a lift kit on this and instead of putting the suspension through the floorboard. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Well, he
but granted,
didn't-
I'm not an expert in this realm, but just throwing it out there, it's the first I've ever seen that.
I don't think people are tricking out their cars for this show. So like he's just like he had this SUV he was making and he was like, oh, it'd be cool to look more like an SUV but with giant tires.
Could be.
Than just being like, oh well, now this thing is like 10 feet in the air and no one can get in anymore.
Right. But I mean,
Like,
it may be certainly plausible that the trucks aren't built specifically for the show, but they're definitely built to be doing the kind of stuff that they're doing on the show. Like, that's the only reason you do this to your vehicle.
I think that you're just in some sort of, you want to be this cool club. Like, this is a way to be in the cool club is like have a really cool tricked out truck. Like, none of these, I would bet that like 50% of the people on the show have never done like the rock climbing thing that they do at the show.
Ooh, I
find
don't
that
know.
hard to
I
believe.
also don't think you bring it on the show unless you're okay with it getting wrecked. So I think like on some level it's built for the show. Like or he's like got another car
It's
that he's
built for this
upgraded.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely built for this purpose.
That's what I want to get into. Of like, it doesn't seem like the cars survive the show. Like,
Yeah.
Like
None of the cars, like every round, they are getting worse and worse. And then like by the end.
I mean, definitely entering your truck in this competition is kind of like entering your car in like a demolition derby. You might come out the other end with that thing running, but it's probably going to be in a bad spot at the end of it.
Plus, the drivers also have to get practice too. Like, they can't just roll in like hot with this and just like start doing stuff with their truck. Like, I mean, they're also getting coached, but at the same time, like, you got to have some experience.
I mean, I guarantee, the way you get on the show is you make some kind of audition tape, you mudding around in your insane truck, and they're like, oh, let's get that guy on there.
Totally.
I don't know. I feel like you say that, but some of the people didn't look like they had a whole lot of experience doing some stuff they were doing.
Well, I mean, I think that the whole course that they've set up, all the things they've set up for the show are like a super amped up version of the stuff that you might kind of normally do with this thing. Like, you're trying to drag over this giant grain silo, you're going up, there's like almost
inclines.
vertical waterfalls, and like, I don't know.
I'm
But,
always
like,
tripping over silos.
Are you saying that these people just did it for the streets? Just to,
I don't know. They did it to
Because that
win.
can't be true.
They did
Did
it to win.
Did it to pick up those ladies.
The babes.
The babes. I mean, there's have a cool truck. You underestimate the like idea of, and people's minds in the South about, I just want a cool truck. Like that.
Chris is right. There are definitely people that put a winch on their Jeep that will never use it, right? And they put a snorkel on it and all these like other things and like just looks cool. And I'm not gonna argue it doesn't look cool, but it's not everybody. Like, there are definitely people that are into this, and this is a legit sport. And to Harrison's point, like, it's not that this track is so amped up. Like, I wouldn't go that far. I have seen much more extreme versions of this on like other things that are like there are runs through like the Nevada desert that are really, really much more insane than this. But this is a pretty gauntlet of a course. I'll give you that.
We also get like some bios of the people who are on the show, and like one of the guys like is talking about how he got into this from his friend, and like they've been like racing these trucks around, or like whatever you call this, like extreme trucking. And like there's a woman on the show who wants to be the first woman to win the truck night. Like, they definitely are very familiar with this sport and like this kind of run.
I mean, this is season 2, so like.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that like it's very like, you mentioned like Nevada race, like those are professionals. These are,
They have races that are open to people. Like, you can go and do these things.
but this show is very much an amateur level show.
Yeah, this is like
these are not sponsored people with $100,000 trucks. These are people that are scrapping together things.
Yeah, there was like a 1985 truck in this. Like,
Hey, the
competition.
1985 Toyota is a very popular truck that also races in that crazy competition I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
I mean, sure, but I'm just saying, like, that's the level. I mean, we did mention a Lexus, so like,
Oh yeah.
Hot takes from the tub.
Now, I just can't believe James's depth of knowledge in the sport of. I don't even know what this sport is called.
It's called four-wheeling.
Four-wheeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
but so they're not 4-wheelers. They're
they're four-wheelers.
four-wheeling.
So
Rock climbers, four-wheelers, all kinds of stuff.
So tell me
Mudders.
like what four-wheeling means. Does it mean like doing like courses, or like are there certain events?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. Like, there are people that will just take their truck. It depends on your location, right? So if you're in the swamps of Florida, you're gonna go out mudding. You're gonna take your truck out, spin the tires around in the mud, do donuts and shit, and try not to get stuck. If you get stuck, you pull the winch out. If you're in the deserts, like in Nevada and stuff, you're doing more rock climbing stuff and climbs and things. So I think it's very like per your region.
James, are you
there you go.
jealous that you're not into this 4-wheeling stuff? Like, Would you be
I mean, four wheeling
interested-
for us is more like getting to the mountain and not, wrecking off of a snow road or something.
Yeah, but like if you were in Florida, like you sound like you'd be pretty excited to be out there in that swamp in your truck.
I mean, it sounds fun. I've never done it.
We got to get James on this show.
Ooh,
Do I have to purchase my own truck and build it?
I believe so.
I believe
Ooh.
that's how this works.
The problem is I don't have the
listeners-
mechanical skills.
Listeners, we now have a Patreon for James to get on truck night.
Well, no, it's a GoFundMe.
It's a GoFundMe.
It's a GoFundMe.
I definitely am not very experienced in any of this, but I've definitely have seen it and like know people that have done it.
Can I ask, do you know what type of car you would want?
Ooh,
Or like
I
what
do-
kind
I
of what
do
kind of
know, like,
customization?
I would probably lean towards the Jeeps or the Toyotas.
Okay.
Either like there's pros and cons, right? So the Toyota is pretty light, especially in that 80s kind of year. But people really like it because you can get over sand dunes and like do all kinds of stuff with it. The Jeep is really good because it has a shorter wheelbase, so from front wheel to back axle, right? So it's really good on climbs and things, at least to my knowledge. But like one of the problems in what we saw in this show is like if you go too steep, it can flip or roll over much more easily compared to some of the longer wheelbases.
Okay.
So I'd probably lean more in like the light and powerful kind of category. The nimble.
Follow up question:
Hit me.
do you have any kind of name idea for your truck?
Oh, I don't. You can't force these things. It's got to depend.
Okay.
It's got to depend on the
when you
vehicle,
meet
the
him or
color,
her.
the size and shape,
Okay.
what it is, the year. Whew, so many factors.
What you paint it?
Yeah,
That's
you know.
true. Yeah, because this is a good minutia. Is everybody has a really good name for their truck, and I do not remember all of them, but they
Yeah,
were really, really
well,
killer.
One consequence of us being in the hot tub is I didn't take any notes. So, we're a little more freewheeling this week than normal. Speaking of the first challenge and the Lexus goes through and like breaks their radiator like right off the bat on like the first jump. They like jump and they just land front first and like break
A
their
nosedive
into
into
their
mud.
in their radiator and their airbags deploy.
The
And-
airbag deployment is really
So-
like 1 minute into
Well,
the
and,
show,
like-
someone's airbag is deployed.
Another car, doesn't another truck hit it from behind?
Oh,
Kinda?
yes.
Yeah,
Like, it's game over.
game over.
But not quite because another truck never makes it off the starting line.
Yeah.
How is that possible? You
Makes
come
no
on this
sense.
show.
How did it even get up to the top if it couldn't go? What was happening?
I don't know.
He's just doing too many show off tricks to like be like, yeah, intimidate the drivers.
So
he
sad.
was revving the engine before they started the show.
That would be so embarrassing. It's like you just imagine you're telling our friends, "Man, I'm going on truck night in America. It's gonna be great, whatever." And then you kind of go on it. You don't really talk about how it's like, yeah, I can't really talk about it. You may have signed this thing, can't really talk about it. And then it's coming around. Hey, is your episode constant? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna make this season or not. I don't know. And then your friends find out, and it's just super embarrassing.
And you basically like that guy never even really gets introed on the show. Like I don't think do we find out his name?
Nope.
No.
No
Like
idea.
he's just immediately
The only thing
done.
we hear about that truck is what they made fun of that truck for,
Yes.
which I don't even
Yes.
know what it was. Like,
For
it was
not running.
nothing.
So, to be fair, assuming he could fix whatever reason his truck didn't start, he still has a truck. Unlike everyone
That's
else in this
very
show.
true. So that's kind of a prize.
There's a question: is he the winner of this competition?
What if that was your move? I want to be on the show, but I want to keep my truck. So I'm going to throw the first shot.
I think he looked at this course and was like, "Fuck that!
Nah.
This truck ain't making it. I like this truck. I'm going home."
It might
Well,
have
that's the
been.
other thing about this show is the prize is $10,000, which does not seem sufficient for these people who ruin their vehicle.
I feel like the wheels cost like a couple grand at least.
Right? They must, right? Like,
Yeah, you pop one of those things, like that's gonna be like half your paycheck.
The woman on the show said that she spent more money on her truck than her kids. And at the end, the truck is fucking destroyed. It's
she
done.
doesn't have a truck.
Get
She
She didn't
different
say that she
tire.
takes better care of the truck than the kids. She just put more money in the truck. To be
Yeah,
clear,
for sure.
Still.
Not great.
Yeah, deep cut here though. But you know what else was a $10,000 vehicle? All the Fast and Furious cars in the first movie.
Whoa!
Thank you. All
How
right.
would those do on this course, though?
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
They're full of like speakers and neon lights. I don't think that's helpful at all here.
If there's
But-
no ramps, you're not making it past like those water things. Doesn't have the height.
The NOS doesn't get you through
The
the water.
NOS.
Oh, the NOSes. I mean, that is a part of the show, which is I feel like they could just add in some NOS occasionally.
Season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're destroying your car. Not going to install some NOS tank into it.
They'll
before-
destroy it a lot faster.
Not installing NOS before this. I'm sorry. Like the wheels are real expensive, but the chances you destroy those wheels are pretty low. Whereas, like,
You can reuse the wheels.
you reuse the wheels on your next vehicle.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
might
the
not
suspension.
be. You might not be able to reuse the wheels if you bust the tires on those shredded cars they're making you drive over.
All right, let's talk about the second challenge. Anyone want to talk about the first challenge?
I think
Well, let's
we-
talk about what happens after the first
First
challenge,
challenge.
which is that all of the people who we think are going to be judges end up pairing up with one of the contestants to be their coach.
Yeah,
And
they
there's
all-
sort of a weird process of picking the person.
and we get to find out the truck's names.
Yes.
And a little, that's really what we find. Not like a lot of backstory, but like a sentence and then the truck name. Which
and
was,
the person name.
yeah.
But no one really cares about
I
that.
don't know. Like, I'd have them written down, but I don't know what they were. There was like,
Doesn't matter.
We only
there
had,
were some pretty good names.
Well,
like,
we
had
should.
Jen, and then like her partner was Bender, but then they end up getting called Team Gender.
I thought that was very
Yeah.
sexist.
Yeah,
Because it
I
was
mean,
the only woman that was ever on the show.
no, like it worked a little too well. Like it's like so clever, but then it's like, yeah, it's not a good one. You can't use that.
Yeah, there's no producer. Producer need to cut that one out.
Yeah, History Channel can't hire good producers.
I mean, on that note, like the production value of the show was pretty good. Like a lot of slow mos, a lot of the shots are. There's a lot of letterboxing that they did. That was.
Yeah, we have to crack that one open right now.
I was like,
Harrison, describe it.
So every time one of the events is about to start, there's a noise that plays that goes, and the letterboxes just slide in from the top of the screen like it's like Red Dead Redemption cinematic mode coming in basically, and it's incredible every time.
it's great.
It's very dramatic. It's great.
There's a lot of slow mo action as you need in this kind of like. There's definitely a point where like cars will like land really hard and they like slow mo like the mud kind of coming up. Like the like camera work in the show is great.
They have a lot of camera angles too. Like they
Yeah.
have drones up in the air. There are helmet cams on the people that are not GoPros. They were some kind of Sony camera. First time I've seen that. And then they had cameras like under the chassis and things in places that seemed kind of questionable to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if all those cameras are surviving, James.
It's true. Maybe that's why they couldn't afford the GoPros.
Maybe.
Dude,
I don't
but
know.
you're getting those for free. Like you just say, code to Sony, hey, like give me some free cameras and we'll put them on our show. And then yeah, there you go, free GoPros.
No,
You mean Sony's?
Nobody.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the looks and names, if we remember them, of the judges' coaches? Because they're some wacky. They're a wacky looking crew.
So like there's one coach with pink like highlights.
Might be Abe Wine.
No, I
Is
think
that
so. Okay.
which one is Abe Wine?
So Abe Wine is definitely one of the guys. His name is Abe Wine. He's one of the coaches.
Which
And then-
one? Is it the one with the neck tattoo?
No,
no.
I'm pretty sure Abe Wine is the one whose thing says like master mechanic. I think that was his descriptor.
Yeah, I think his guy was out really early and he wasn't really in the show. that
Yeah, I
much.
think
was he
so.
so he wasn't the like would you guys call it ramen beard?
Ramen beard.
That was Bender.
Bender.
That was Bender.
He's
Bender has like this like blonde like chin beard, and it has the exact waviness of a packet of ramen.
And he is described as a master fabricator.
And then there's the guy with pink highlights, which he's the extreme sports specialist.
No, he's like an OG.
Pioneer.
Yeah, it was Pioneer, right? It is so clear every time this guy is having to talk to these guys about how to fix their truck or anything mechanical that he has no idea what's going on.
It's great. But he has a good personality.
Yeah, he has a good
Yeah.
personality, and he was pretty good at coaching some people through the courses they were driving.
Yeah.
So after every challenge, they get like a like an hour to fix their car, and like this guy, like after one of the challenges, he's like, yeah, we gave the car a once over.
Did
And
a
it's pretty
visual
clear
inspection.
he's not sure what he could do. He kind of just pats it on the hood.
See,
It-
I want to watch another episode because I think that because this guy was just crushing it, that maybe he just didn't really need to do anything. It's yeah, why would I mess with this and potentially ruin something?
It's possible. I mean, it was just a big contrast, and there was just these other coaches who were, welding stuff to the cars, actually doing
Right.
real work
But-
on the cars.
But those cars were disasters, man.
Oh, yeah,
when
they
the
were.
roll cages just get destroyed and they're trying to reinforce it. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go back in that car. So the second challenge, I don't know, it was they filmed it really well, but I don't know how well it really plays between truck v truck.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it-
so the second challenge is trying to tip over this grain silo in a tug of war competition.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where once you get started, you kind of automatically win, and whoever has the more weight or torque, you kind of just win. So it's the judges, the people can't help really. They're well, you came here with 2,000 pounds lighter, 1,000 pound lighter than everyone else, and 100 less horsepower.
Well, sometimes you can help if you shovel mud in the
Yeah.
back of the truck to make it heavy.
But it didn't. He still lost.
Yeah.
That was first the coach or how much they help it. He's I'm gonna make your truck heavier. I'm just gonna dig mud into the back of the truck, and he's shoveling like crazy, and he's clearly winded afterwards.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
trying to put as much weight in there as I could.
And it also looks like the driver doesn't help him.
No, the driver was doing something else. He was
Oh,
you
okay.
do this, I'm gonna go put mud in
Okay.
the back of your truck.
Yeah.
Then he claimed that he shoveled 200-300 pounds of mud in the back of the thing.
That's so much.
Questionable.
Listen, questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it was the coaches were actually doing stuff, as opposed to other shows where we've seen where judge/coach kind of positions. They're yeah, why don't you go pick that up over there? Why don't you go do
Mhm.
this over here? They're more of a delegator than anything. It was they're definitely doing some stuff.
It's a
They
team.
felt legit coaches.
Yeah.
And it's sort of similar the boxing coach in the corner, right? Where they're patting you down and they're getting the blood out of your eyes and all that kind of stuff. It felt all right, you let the air out of those tires. We're gonna put that winch over here. I'm gonna go shovel a bunch of rocks in the truck bed.
Yeah. But it's this challenge specifically is so funny because it seems like as a driver, your skill doesn't matter at all.
It's
all you
definitely vehicle.
it's all about whatever you bring to the table.
Yeah,
And there's only so much they can do. They add weight to this one guy's car, and they change the tires to give more more friction. But
yeah. I mean, as a key part that's going through most of this episode is the Lexus, doesn't have a radiator at this point. So they're let me put some water in this, in your coolant tank now so you don't overheat it. And then the next challenge, they're well, you don't have a radiator. We don't have any backup radiators. So we're just going to bypass that radiator and just hook two hoses together and
Hope you can finish the course fast enough.
put some fluid in there and hope you're okay, and give you a pat on the back and good luck.
These coaches do not care at all about the long-term, the longevity of your truck. They're just trying to get it through the next challenge
Just trying
at
to get you to win.
all costs.
That is nuts. The next challenge where they do this rock kind of climbing. This is what I would imagine more of a 4x4 kind of this whole thing would be about. Is they've got this little crevice that they have to get through, where left side, right side have to, or
It's kind of like a gully or something,
Yeah.
right? And they have to kind of traverse it, and it's very deep.
Yeah, and then they're
Very easy to get stuck.
climbing up these waterfall things, and whoever makes it up fastest or the furthest moves on to the final challenge. And it was kind of in this challenge they had this Jeep with the woman, what was it, Team Gender.
Okay.
Team Gender, she goes through and has some trouble with the crevice, makes it up halfway up through this waterfall, and then tries to hammer it home, flips over backwards, and that Jeep ain't doing good.
Roll cage is busted.
The roll cage is busted.
Landed on the roof.
Yeah,
At least it was a roll cage. I
I
think
think it's
a
a
requirement.
It has to be a requirement. You can't go on the show without a roll cage. You can't do the climbing beast without a roll cage. And as the coaches, when they have an hour between, she makes it to the next round. So they have an hour to go to this next course. And they're just like, well, we're going to remove the windshield. We'll reinforce your roll cage. We'll remove the hood.
The doors, the bumper.
They're like hacksawing like half this car apart. And they're like, yeah, when you go through the water, you have to go slow because your car ain't going to really... Yeah, about that. And I got to go right into this. She goes through this challenge and just smoking the whole time. Like, it's like, why is that car? What's going on with the engine? They're like, we think it's the power steering fluid. I'm like, are you sure? It's a lot of smoke.
She definitely lost power steering in the final thing. That was pretty wild to watch her try to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like using like a rag to try and get like more like friction on the wheel to pull it harder or something.
Yeah, she gets to this point where she has to like make this really hard turn and she just can't do it. Like her car just like ends up in this like water kind of hazard on its side.
That's accurate.
Water hazard on its side. She's like, well, she just couldn't turn. Apparently the power steering fluid is leaking and they have no mechanics to fix that. Also, like an hour is not a whole lot of time
Definitely
to doing all this work.
I can't believe that car was even back out there competing
Yeah.
after an hour.
They told the guy who came in third on the waterfall one, we might still need you if we can't fix this truck. You're back in.
Mr.
Don't go
Lexus.
too far.
It
Mr.
must.
Lexus.
It must happen. Like the Lexus goes through this like and doesn't have the wheelbase really to get through this like water like climbing thing. Like it's just not what that car is built for at all.
It doesn't even really get to the climb. It's in the ravine part. It doesn't make it.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the like wheel height really to like make it through. Mainly because he made it look cool and didn't actually make it for this like show.
I was like, when they're doing the ravine, like the coach is standing like right in front of the truck. Be like, oh, do this, turn the wheel like this, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to stand in front of this giant truck.
Yeah.
Like, I know they can't go so fast because you're in this ravine, but still, like that was.
I think that's
impressive.
normal for this kind of like event.
I mean, I guess it is normal if you're used to it, but for me, who's not used to it, I was like, whoa, they're standing
Same.
like
It
right.
looked really scary.
They're standing right in front of a moving vehicle. It seems a little questionable.
They're not gunning it. Like they're not making anywhere if they gun it. They're just gonna like fall into the ravine, and then it's like, well, okay, now you have to deal with this.
I mean, that did kind of happen. Yeah.
They also say a lot of amazing coaching advice before they go into this ravine challenge where they're like, yeah, like if you feel it start to flip, just like let go. And then like they're also like, just like give it your person, like show us what you got, like show us your personality, like whatever. Nothing makes sense.
You just gotta feel
What
it.
does this
You just gotta
mean?
feel it.
You know how to drive your car. Do they?
This is
Of
why
this?
I think it's more amateur than you think. Because I don't think a lot of these people have ever done this.
Just like, hey, be yourself. Huh?
Oh yeah, somebody
yourself.
definitely said
Huh?
something about.
What?
Like a lot of them were like, okay, if you feel like you're flew backwards, just don't brake, don't do anything.
No, don't break.
Don't
That was the
break.
thing.
Don't break.
Breaking is the worst thing you could do in that situation, is what they were saying.
But it's like that's like 101 stuff. So like the fact that they have to like keep shouting this 101 stuff to these people just makes it seem like even more like they're like not prepared for this.
And Jen clearly didn't do whatever it is to make sure you don't roll
Yeah.
backwards.
She wanted up that hill.
She was going for it.
Yeah.
Any cost.
I feel like the coach knew that like making up that second ravine was unlikely.
I mean, not any cost. The cost was her truck.
It's true.
Yeah, and she, spoiler alert, does not win the 10 grand. So she does not get the money to make a new truck
Yeah.
or like fix this truck or do anything.
Mr. with the Suzuki wins the truck.
Well,
And so the guy with the coach with the pink hair who didn't know how to fix the truck ended up winning because he had the best truck.
yeah, he like breezes through that like third challenge. Like his
The third
car is
challenge,
kind of
yeah.
built for like what he's
He got
probably
to the
done that
top.
before. He's like car's built for that.
So is there a final show of this season where they take the winners from the challenges, or is it every show is a one-off truck battle?
I think every show's a one-off, but I'll check.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
check the
sure there's
descriptions.
like there might be like
The
some
best
sort
of
of
the best.
special where they do that, but I'd love to see like a redemption for that guy's car that didn't start. Like you
Yeah.
can see on that
Yeah.
episode. Like,
You're saying some kind of redemption house? Is that what you're looking for?
No, you just
no.
bring like
This
Battle of
is-
the Losers on.
This is more of
I
a
don't think
Fortune
it's-
Fire Battle of the Losers kind of situation.
Battle losers. I just want to see the winners. The losers,
Yeah.
their trucks are wrecked.
No, but
They're
you
done.
you want the redemption challenges.
Mm. Yeah, I think there's just I really thought this was going to be a similar format to the Barbecue Pitmasters show, where there's sort of like a bracket,
Yes.
and then it really speeds up at the end where you get through the finals. But it doesn't seem like that's the case.
I
Yeah.
like this format. I don't like the like brackety kind of like move. I like get 5 new people every time, come in, there's a winner, we move on. Like,
So it seems like there's 5 new people every episode, except the 11th episode is a compilation of the best of this past season of Truck Night in America. So that just might be a clip show.
Yeah.
what about season 1? Look at season 1.
I'll look
That
at
might
season 1.
that might be a better indication of
But
what actually happens.
One thing that we don't know about going back to Broken Skull challenges, it'd be great if Suzuki Guy is there in episode 2 and be like, he's got
Yes.
the winning time. If you beat his time, you'll get like extra money, or he can get some extra money for like staying the champion. Like that'd be a nice
Yeah, I
continuation
like
thing.
that part of the Broken Skull Challenge that is not copied here. But I do like the coaches in the show. Like the coaches and the positivity, I like more than Broken Skull Challenge. Like there's I mean, I might like Broken Skull Challenge more just because it's like more interesting. Like I like to see people compete that way versus competing with their truck, but like can't really change that.
Yeah, I mean, the show definitely brings a positive vibe with the coaching.
Which
It
is
feels
like-
more positive than even like the UFC show, which is somewhat similar, right? Where the coaches pick you and they're trying to train you up.
Yeah.
But this just feels more positive because they're not just brutally fighting each other. I feel
Well,
like.
it's not as serious. That UFC show is like, yeah,
It's a
well,
fight.
it's just you guys are fighting, and you win, you're out. Like, so you better get that fucking win, dude.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
death.
I mean, the stakes are a little bit different because in that show, it's like you're trying to make a career out of being a UFC fighter, and this one's just like, I made this crazy fucking truck as like a hobby, and now I want to put it to the test, like,
And destroy it.
and destroy it,
All right,
and
so-
never have my hobby again.
So season 1 also had a best of episode. It doesn't seem there's a finale, but then they had a special all Ford edition with 5 Ford Tough rigs.
Sponsored by Ford.
Sponsored.
I'm guessing
Really
there was
sold
a
out
little
on that one.
sponsorship there.
But hey, Ford, if you want to send us some trucks, we'll try it out for you.
Ford, send us a truck to get James on Truck Night in America.
If Ford sends me a truck, I'll definitely audition for the show.
Oh, making that video with you would be great.
It'd be fun.
That'd be
I don't know.
fun. We
Just do
gotta-
it.
Do they send you a tricked out truck, or do they just send you the dealership truck and then
Oh,
you got
it's
to
like
put the
a-
rims on?
I mean, I could take it to a wheel shop and get some wheels. That's not that hard.
What if you got a truck, went to Diesel Brothers, got them to trick out for you, and then went to Truck Night in America?
I like this. Let's make that happen. Sounds
there
great.
needs to be a Diesel Brothers crossover for sure.
Hey, I'll slap a bunch of Diesel Brothers stickers all over that truck.
What show do you win a truck? So first you put him on that show, win the truck, then go to Diesel Brothers, and we just like
I
string this
mean,
thing
I think
along.
Price is Right.
Oh, killer combo.
I was gonna say Pimp My Ride, kind of. You just get this like really shitty truck, they can fix it up for
Ooh.
you.
But Pimp My Ride, you have to bring the vehicle.
Yeah, I'm just saying you buy like a $400 truck on like eBay.
And then they put a hot tub in the back of it. Then what do I
and
do?
like 40 TVs.
What if you took the truck with the hot tub from Pit My Wide onto Truck Night in America?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Man, what if Truck Night in America was only trucks from Pimp My Ride?
Oh,
No.
Special Pimp My Ride episode.
They would all fall apart immediately.
I hope they put airbags in.
So this last challenge, there's a little minutia with the Suzuki. As he goes through this challenge, like I was really entertaining to see this guy like try to go through, and like he gets to a point where he like fucks up, has to back up, go through a challenge again, and like he goes through this swamp thing with all this water. Where I'm like, this other person's not making it through that at all, and you have to go over this huge like just garbage pile of like metal, like,
Bunch of crushed
Car
up cars,
parts?
basically. Yeah.
and like they're like probably shouldn't go too fast over there, you're gonna break your wheel, like cut your wheel. And like this guy gets to the end and he looks exhausted. I can't imagine how long it took him to get through that thing.
And they never tell us.
They
You'll
You'll
tell us
never
the
know.
time. That's
They
terrible.
never tell us the time.
Like in the swamp, he got stuck in the swamp. He had to get out and use what's the thing called?
The
again?
winch.
The winch to like tie around a tree and pull himself. He's like, get out of his truck into the quote unquote snake infested swamp, winch it up, get back in. Like that's insane.
I didn't see any snakes though.
I did not see any snakes either.
Yeah, it was kind of, the coaches were right there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of nuts that these coaches are definitely going to different points. There's like 2 will be somewhere, and then they'll go to another section. So like it's not like a short like.
It's a big track. Like
Yeah.
it's not all just like track. It is a dirt course with obstacles, and there's probably 10, 11 or
Yeah.
so different challenges to overcome, and they are sizable and significant.
They're definitely very vast. There's like one where it's like a banked kind of like
The
The
roller
roller
coaster.
like wooden roller coaster esque thing where the one woman fails at, but like that's vastly different than like the crushed up cars or like the swamp challenge, or like they have like a teeter totter kind of like challenge where like you get on and you have to wait for the other side to fall down.
The drawbridge.
I don't think that you ever really fail that, so it's like
But there's some good slow mo on that one.
Drawbridge
def-
definitely seemed like it was for the camera. Like they wanted that
For
shot.
sure.
yeah, there's definitely that's where the mud shot is. If you're looking for that one, the like slow mo mud just like flying up. That's where that was. And like to see this guy at the end just like look like he's ready to sleep for like the next like 3 days. Like he's so exhausted.
Oh yeah.
And one last ridiculous thing. So he finishes the course. She does not finish the course. And they do the let's find out who won giant dramatic pause. Oh, it's you who finished the course.
It wasn't even that. It was like, hey, come to the top of this course where we're going to tell you who won. We're like, what? We know who won. Like somebody
My
finished.
truck's on its side.
Like,
I can't even get it home.
But they probably just didn't know. Like they kept a secret or something, or like they could have recorded out of order.
Well, like they
No.
also could have. It could be that the competitors don't get to see each other's runs, so maybe
Yeah.
she doesn't know. But like to
Oh.
the viewer, it is so ridiculous.
yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a commercial break between those two.
Oh yeah, if they don't know each other did, it
Yeah,
makes a little
maybe.
bit of sense now. It's still weird.
But like they still have to change it so the viewer is not seeing the weirdest thing. They're like, we'll find out.
Well, maybe
We'll reveal your time at the top. Who knows who won this round?
But even Kristen will reveal at the top was the dramatic reality show giant pause of who's going to be close up on both people.
Yeah.
It's like, we know who it is. when
Well,
you-
and at that point they're like, Jen, you did great, but the wobble boards got you. And then I forget the other guy's name. They're like, you did amazing. You finished the course. The winner is. You're like,
The
Ma-
guy that finished it?
I hope it's him.
maybe there was like season 1, somebody got like eliminated for some like
A
weird
foul?
like a foul.
I don't
you
think
get
there are
DQ'd?
fouls.
Is there like a disqualification for some reason?
I mean, I thought that the woman was gonna get DQ when she ran down that marker for that one thing, but they were just cheering around. They're like, "Yeah, great job! You see her plow through that thing." All right.
There was a point where like he was like the guy that won like fell off this bridge kind of thing, and like he had to like reverse and go back and restart it. Like I feel like if he didn't restart it, maybe he'd get DQ'd and then
Yeah.
he would lose.
Which is the same point that she ended on. So
Yeah, maybe you have to actually clear the obstacle. You can't just finish the course without clearing it.
Yeah,
Around. You just
I
drive around it.
yeah. I'm at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, might be.
yeah,
Which might be a strategy if there's one of the obstacles that you just know you can't do.
Mhm.
Like, maybe I'll skip that. But if you get DQ'd, then obviously not worth it. I don't know. We just don't know what the rules are. It's unclear.
But
The
the other-
graveyard definitely had a path around it.
For sure.
But there are also things like, so all the coaches have walkie-talkies and they can talk to the people in the truck, and they might be like, "Yo, you got to turn around and get back in that, or you're done."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like to that point, like they were talking into the walkie-talkies, but they were like kind of just talking to us. Like it wasn't seem like they were giving good advice to the people actually driving this course.
I think sometimes they did, and sometimes it's just for us. And then they make it, you can't tell which is which.
Yeah, I don't think they're pressing like the talk button on the walkie-talkie every time they're like making fun of these cars.
But I think there's like
Because like there were a lot of times when they're like, "Look at all that smoke on her car! Like she's chugging."
It's like that is unhelpful.
They're like, "There's no
She
way
doesn't
they're
need to hear
saying that to her."
Yeah, that's why I was like, are they saying anything to her? Like I don't know.
I think there are a couple ones where it definitely seemed like they were like trying to give advice to the people in the truck. So I think they do sometimes, but a lot of it is just for our own entertainment and
Yeah.
edification.
Anyone else have any other minutia they really want to talk about? Should we go? Would the show be better if everyone was naked?
Oh man, you're losing something.
I don't know. That seems risky.
Covered in mud.
Covered in mud and naked.
All right,
You
raise
still
in a
get a
truck.
helmet even if you're naked.
Yeah. You gotta help.
I have one more hypothetical before rating. So we've compared this a lot to Steve Austin's Broken Skull Ranch, which has the key element of a celebrity host. If there's gonna be a celebrity host of Truck Night in America, who's the perfect person?
Steve Austin. How is that
Steve
not the
Austin
answer?
again.
Guy Fieri.
That's not bad. That ain't bad.
The Rock.
Yeah, that was mine.
The Rock.
It's
Yeah.
The Rock.
The Rock shows he has all kinds of giant, insane pickup trucks already. He just rolls in, and he's The Rock.
I'm very close to being on the same page as you, but I think that somebody who personifies this kind of culture is Kid Rock.
Whoa!
What if he had some kind of Kid Rock host?
What about the Miz?
No.
TJ? Shoot some TJ on you?
Ooh,
TJ could do
TJ
it.
would be
I could
good.
see TJ.
TJ could do it.
What if you get the 4 hosts and you get Vin Diesel, you get The Rock, you get Statham, and you get Luda?
Wow.
Luda.
Oh, you need Luda for the tech.
Most expensive History Channel show ever.
Luda's already, slumming it on Fear Factor. You could upgrade to a better show.
What if the
Ooh.
judging for this competition, like, what if there was an element of style, of like how your truck looked?
No.
Whoa!
Could be
That-
kind of fun though.
That's an element of like some like the monster truck kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There's some style points there.
It's a different show. Like I kind of like that this show, it's very clean cut. of
Pure.
This truck has beaten this other
Yeah.
truck. And there's no doubt. Look, that truck is now in a ditch.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're never questioning the rules or like what was the specific circumstances in this scenario. It's very clear who won and who did not.
Yeah.
win.
I bet you that there have been flamethrowers though.
On the trucks,
Yeah.
but they're
Ooh.
not battling each other generally.
I know, but like it might just be on there and they bring it on and it's like, well, they just shoot it off beforehand.
Battle
I don't
bots.
think so.
Battle bots crossed with this show.
I mean,
Oh,
so
man.
like, we gotta talk about this. Like, this is being on the History Channel,
Oh, we should talk about
and,
that.
and
quickly.
like, as we've done Forged in Fire, which was also on the History Channel, like, it is very clear that these are produced by the same people or the same group of people. That like, okay, we're gonna do this competition thing, but it's not like there's no points. It's just like who does better, and it's very clear who does better, who wins. Like there's no like
Mhm.
mystery. Whereas like Forge of Fire, there's like no mystery. It's like okay, if everyone does really well, then okay, then we'll go to like decorations. But like that's just like this show can't even get to that point. It's like okay, well you're 0.01 seconds faster. Well, you've won, you lost.
Also, similarly, like they're like spin-off of Forge and Fire, Knife or Death, like which is like an obstacle course, like with knives.
That's
We
a
haven't-
that's a great title though.
We haven't done that one yet. We have to
Wow.
do it.
How is that not on the queue?
Knife for death.
I don't know. I don't know why I have because we need Brian because Brian. It's like
We'll put it on the queue.
yeah, we gotta put that back in the queue.
But like Forge and Fire has the 1 minute of the like, let us teach you the history of this weapon you're gonna make to try to make it history. The only history thing in this was the very first line in the show is trucks were invented in 1925. And that's it. Like there's
Yeah.
not even an attempt to tie any of this to history.
Nope.
I'm a little disappointed there's not like a
Yeah.
30-second. So let's go to 1938 and talk about, and then now back to trucks.
So, like
racing
the first
each other.
Toyota was seen in America. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, how do they have that for each season, each like episode of a season? Like at least Forge and Fire, it's like, okay, we're gonna make this weird weapon, and this is where that weapon's from. Whereas like here, it's like, well this obstacle course is it's our obstacle course. It's not changing.
Historical
like,
obstacle course.
what is the historical reference? Not like, hey, you made that car from 1985. So like, remember that year 1985? Princess Diana like did something. I don't know.
That'd be some good history.
It's just like that would be weird.
hey, why is it truck night? It was all in the day.
Great question.
Just a quick thought experiment.
Great question.
Is it because
Show's
we
ruined.
watched it at night in the tub?
I don't know.
Well, it might
Doesn't-
be it's on TV at night. So
Maybe
But I think it's just a great name. Truck
Truck
Night in
Night.
America.
in America.
Yeah,
I mean,
can
I
we-
think they're just trying to play off the football night in America. I mean, that's the football night in America
Mm.
is like what kind of popularized this, right? I
And
don't know.
baseball tried to get in the mix. Or like, Tuesday's baseball night or what? I don't know. I don't like baseball, so it's whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Do other countries have a signature
Nights.
car that
Ooh.
has a signature competition?
No.
Tokyo drifting.
Tokyo Drift
Oh.
Night
in America.
in Japan.
America. In Japan.
I mean, I guess it's also to know we did this show because like July 4th is coming up. I guess probably by the time the show goes
We
up,
gonna drop this one on July 4th?
maybe
I got
we'll
it.
see.
It's gun night in America.
Hey!
Oh,
That's definitely got to be a thing somewhere.
Boo.
Every
What?
night's gun night in America.
Hey, they have that gun show on. Is it History Channel? Did we do that?
No.
Where they shoot all the gun competition?
put
We've
it on
not
the,
done that?
Put it on the queue.
Okay, what I can't remember the name, but there's some kind of gun competition reality show.
All right, guys, let's go to the ratings here. I guess I'll start off. I think this is a top third show. It was really fun. I like this style of reality show where it's like a different competition each week. There was 5 people. It's very positive, other than, the beginning intro was questionable, but like I love the judges / coaches. They were really fun. They provide a lot of fun personality. So we're gonna put it in top third. And Rob, what do you got for us?
I agree. Definite top third show. And like the number of times where it just was like, whoa, just like something insane is happening with the trucks was like a high number. And so, very entertaining, both like the personalities of the judges, but also just like the competitions were like well done and were kind of fun to watch. And I don't think it'd be like, oh, I've seen this, I don't want to watch again. It's like, oh, these new trucks, there's a new Lexus. Let me see what this one does. I think it'd be fun.
All right, James, what do you got?
Solid top third. Shows very fun would be the way that I would describe it. Seconding with Rob is like there's just a lot of great moments, both visually from a competition perspective, that are also fun. You feel like these people really are in it to win it at the cost of their vehicle. So it's really good. I would put it for James rating in the middle of the top. The real only ding is I wish that they would do a bracket, which I know goes against Chris's wish, but having we'll get into it later. But that's the only ding I'd give it. Other than that, solid top third show.
Harrison, what do you got for us?
Yeah, this is going to be a top third show for me, too. I really liked all of the, truck competition segments. I thought that was all really solid. I thought that the coaches were really good. I do wish that during the kind of truck maintenance, I keep on calling it a car. They'd be very angry. Truck maintenance segments, that they did a little bit more education. I don't really claim to know a lot about car mechanics, and I would have appreciated maybe couple of diagrams, a little bit more explain about some of the stuff that they're doing. But other than that, I thought it was really good.
You mean you don't know what a radiator is? Or
I know what a radiator is. I don't know how everything is hooked up and in what sequence in the car or whatever. So seeing some kind of engine diagram, the process of how this thing is doing, when they decide to take the radiator out of the loop and hook the hose up to who God knows what. Like I wish they would have explained that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can't expect everything, but like that was definitely a point that would make the show better.
I would say
I don't think it's a detraction from the show.
I would say that as as a show that is on something like the History Channel or Discovery Channel or something like that, I expect at least some kind of an education element.
All right, Annabeth, what do you got for us?
I'm going to say it's a middle, kind of like the top of the middle, because it was very entertaining and I loved every competition that we saw in this. The challenges were super good. But I wish there'd been more education about the trucks, like how we're modding them, like how they're different. I know nothing about trucks, so it was a big mystery why trucks were doing better than other trucks. So I think that would have made it better. I think maybe having a bracket would have made it better. I think I am not super compelled to see every episode of this season because similar to the Rock show, every episode is going to end with them doing the same challenge. And it's really good, but I don't really need to see it over and over again. So middle third.
Brian, what do you got for us?
Top, middle of the top. History Channel has been knocking it out of the park, and they're really competing with MTV right now.
Oh,
snap.
Come on, MTV has ridiculousness, but History Channel also has ridiculousness in a different way.
I think History Channel's got a better track record than MTV. How
Really?
many MTV shows have we had that were in the bottom third? Too many to count. We have to go through the list. There'd be a lot.
Really? I mean, you got Floribama Challenge,
Yeah,
Double Shot.
The Double Shot's not in the top.
Oh, right.
that
Game of Clones was all.
that 70s show, Gleam of Clones.
That
70s
There was
show.
that
that
90s
show.
house.
90s house.
Oh, 90s House with them?
90s
Okay.
House.
I thought that was VH1.
The
No.
Snowboard
No.
Hut was also a flopper.
Yeah.
Okay, never
You
mind.
love that show, though.
I mean, I did watch it mostly just because of the snowboard aspect. That shit was not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. We've watched a lot of MTV shows, Rob, and or Brian, and it's just I think the History Channel has a better track record in terms of percentage
Okay.
of wins, but we don't do a lot of them. They have some craps that we just don't watch.
I mean,
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we got to go deep on History Channel. Do we need History Channel month?
History Month.
I don't know. I can't do another ghost UFO bullshit show though.
Was that on History Channel?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They're
no.
all-
Paranormal month.
Ugh, that would be. I definitely would.
We got to have
check
for
Let's
October.
do
We
it.
have a new host for that month.
Hey, check. You got a new host that month, guys. Sorry.
What about Beach Month? We haven't done Beach Month in a while.
Ooh.
There's a lot
What
of
is
beach
Beach,
shows.
Beach Month?
Shows that are on the beach.
Lindsay Lohan.
All right,
Right.
guys, tweet at us to let us know what kind of month you're looking for. Would you want a paranormal month? You want a beach month?
Or both.
Or Nudie Month.
Ghosts on the beach. Everyone's naked.
We've
Oh,
done-
naked ghosts on the beach.
Whoa! Who will survive?
I think we just came up with a new short format there.
Speaking of MTV, the double shot at Love finished last week, and I had caught up with the finale here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Are they in love?
Does anyone care about spoilers for this show?
Do it.
Go for
I
it.
watched along with you.
Okay. Vinny picks one of the women, and it's like works out great. But Paulie,
Who does he pick?
I don't fucking know.
Ah.
You watched the whole
Chris.
season. You don't even know who he
Chris.
picked?
No, it was like L or something.
Well, next time you got to have your notes.
I don't have
of-
any notes, guys.
Yeah, no.
I'm in a hot tub.
So we need-
I don't have my phone.
We
I
need
can't-
another double shot update next week where you have our predictions
Yeah.
and you tell us if any
Look,
of us are
okay.
right.
So it doesn't really matter. So Vinny picks
Okay.
this woman.
We'll say
this,
L.
Okay.
this lovely woman. And
Do you
then
like her?
apparently between when the episode ended and this reunion, they weren't allowed to be together or like and they just stopped talking. And like Vinny's just like, I thought we'd hang out after this. And she was like, well, you stopped talking to me, so that's like not gonna happen. So like their relationship is over. And it was a real awkward reunion because they like she wasn't with him. And then Paulie gets down to the two women, the really crazy one,
Nicole.
Nicole, and a very reasonable one. Do you know her name?
No.
She was like an adult and like a human being.
I know this. It's Darren the cat lady.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's right. So Paulie tells Darren to go to the cat, like she's kicked off. So then like Nicole thinks that she's won, but Paulie kicks her off the show too. Paulie goes home single.
Well, so she like overreacted. Like she reacted like a little crazy to like this
She
news.
was crazy.
Yeah, no, like I mean, she was going crazy like all season. I was kind of rooting for her to go to the end because I wanted to see what would happen. I knew something was gonna blow up.
Yeah.
But like, no, she like after the other girl was kicked off, she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so much in love with you," and like all this stuff just started freaking Paulie out. And then he bailed at that point.
Yeah. So this reunion, no one was together. Double Shot at Love is ready for season 2.
Wow. What was the finale? Like, it's not a proposal. Is it just like, will you date me?
So it was like
Can I get
The,
your
like,
real
first
number?
half of
Can I
the-
get your actual number?
The-
But then I won't call you, apparently.
the first episode finale, like their moms, like Polly and Vinny's mom came, and like they had like there was like only 4 women left, right? So
Yeah.
like they just kind of had like meals and they were like talking to the moms and stuff, and then they did this final cab ceremony where they were like sent somebody home, and then there was just like, hey, now we'll like date for real or whatever. It wasn't like a proposal or anything. And you know, it was the reunion was real awkward. I had to watch the reunion because it was like, wait, what?
Amazing. It was
Did-
amazing.
Weird.
Question: did they bring both parents, like
Yeah.
Paulie and Vinny's parents and the girls' parents, or
No.
just?
No, they
No.
did like the girl's parents like earlier.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
The girl's family was like midway through the season.
Got it.
So like, it was. I can't believe that the crazy girls they had the whole season. Like, it was nuts.
I can. I mean, you just got to keep that like one person on like all season just to keep people interested and see how far they go.
No.
Yeah, you do. Like The Bachelor is doing it also this season, where like this guy Luke P is just annoying as shit, and he's always on. Like, because she wants his D so hard, and then Polly and Nicole wanted each other so bad, and that was gonna happen.
Was there ever any drama on this show where like the guys wanted like a girl who was interested in the other guy? Was there any
was
of that?
like they were playing with that a little bit. I think like Ella was like some person tried to date both and like made out with both,
Ooh.
and they were like, which one do you like more? Which one you actually interested in? Was the only like real.
Okay.
It was very clear who was for who after like, you know, they were like, oh, there's which one, like after like the second episode where they're like, oh, you're
Okay.
not just dating one of them, you have to choose between one or the other.
half watching while Emmy's watching it, it definitely seems like most of the drama is all the girls hate Nicole.
Yup.
Okay.
And they're like, Polly's got to smarten up and get rid of her because she's no good. And then she doesn't
Wow.
go. They're like, how is Polly keeping her? And that's like every episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a very clear through line of the show. I might agree with Brian here that they kept her just for production reasons because it wouldn't have been that great of a show if they got rid of her, but I don't know.
It made
What-
a great show and a great reunion.
Great.
Was the Megan
Ooh.
Fox clone there though at the reunion to be like,
No.
oh, now I can go back to my true
That-
love.
I have no recollection of what you're talking about. I have blocked that from my memory permanently.
Yeah, it was. I definitely would not watch a season 2. That's for sure.
Whoa.
So, like,
Wow.
Wow, from top third to I'm definitely not watching season 2.
And
It's
you
a big
finished
fall.
this whole season.
I mean, like, it
Were
was,
you-
it was a
were you
side
just-
content TV.
you just wanted to see love.
I
you
just-
wanted to
I just
see
like Polly
a
and Vinny.
romance. Mm.
Like
Was the real romance the bromance?
the bromance? Yes,
They did stop the barbershop at some point.
Yeah,
They didn't
I
get a
can't
haircut every
believe it.
week?
No,
Oh.
they didn't.
That-
I don't know. I feel like you just got too absurd.
Did they cut the budget and we were like, we can't have these barbers in here all the time?
I don't know.
MTV cut a budget? Never.
Anyone else got any more other updates they want to talk
So,
about? Or
I have a question for a couple Potters.
Yeah.
I hear you guys may have finished all of The Colony.
Oh,
Harrison and
yeah.
I need to hear the
Oh,
reaction.
yeah.
So this is Harrison's second watch, but it's been some time.
Also,
And
have
this
you,
is your first
you've
one. I've
seen the
seen
whole
it.
thing.
I
Do
saw
you
it with
remember
Harrison
it?
in college, but I have not seen it since.
Okay.
So I'll probably remember parts, but I'm
Okay.
really curious to your reaction and how do you feel about it and what were maybe like a high and a low.
Wow. Big questions. The Colony was amazing. It was quite a ride. So, I mean, like, highs were these people are just inventing the most amazing things. Like, I had no idea that some of these things could be done with, like, just like all these like leftover parts that they find in this warehouse. Like, they power a semi truck using wood gas and they're like burning it in this big barrel that they like mount on the truck. Like the things they're doing are so unreal. They like figure out how to do like a kind of a telegram with Morse code that they're sending out every day. They're purifying water. We saw that. But
They made a
like
shower at some point, I remember.
they make a shower with it, which is really cool. What else did they do?
They made a flamethrower.
Oh yeah, they make an amazing flamethrower.
Was it Michael was the security guy?
Yeah, Michael's the
Joey.
handyman. Joey's the guy who was in prison, who they put in charge of security, who gets really riled. Both of these guys get really riled all the time. John Cone is the mad scientist who just makes unbelievable things all the time. He makes a Tesla coil. He's like he just like wanders around the warehouse and just like invents everything they need. It's like unbelievable. They make a solar powered car to go scavenge and like maybe settle in a new place. Like, I can't believe the stuff they do on this show. So that's definitely a high. A low is that sometimes it's like Harrison and I had to stop the show at some points to discuss, could this be real? Because they're
Just hamming it up.
well, it's like the producers don't let you in. They don't give you any kind of guide to like what they're actually telling the people to do, or like you don't really know if the people know what's going to happen, or like if they know when these marauders are going to come, or like what the rules are, like can they hurt the people who are attacking the place? Like you don't really know anything about what's happening. So the way people respond to it, sometimes like you can't tell like is this a real thing? Are they acting? But then the things they're building are amazing. Like
I mean, like the way that they portray the show and the way that people talk in these interviews, it makes it sound like they don't realize they're on a show, which cannot be possible because you have these cameras around all the time, people are shooting you, and like you have to be aware that you're on a show. So it's almost like, I mean, I believe that they're actually living in this warehouse, that they're actually making this stuff and whatever. But I think that they're like basically role playing like being in an apocalypse, and they are like trying to react and talk as if it was really happening, because there is no acknowledgement the entire time that there is a show happening.
yeah, like a couple things like that. So like so we don't really ever get like the producers talking to us, but we do get these like security and like world experts, or like a psychologist. Like we get these cameos from like experts telling us like what they think that people are experiencing to sort of explain their behavior. And they tell us that the people like can only stay in this like 4-block radius of the warehouse that they're left in. But like the people in the warehouse start building this big semi truck to like escape and like go find a new start like out in the fields. And it's really weird because you're like, oh, like they know they can't leave, right? Like they can't really leave, which is weird.
Yeah.
And then there's like towards the end of the season, there's this big battle with the marauding people who come like try to break into the warehouse and like steal all their stuff and like ruin all their things. And they're throwing like Molotov cocktails. Like they're like they use this insane flamethrower and like blow up a truck. And like it's not clear, like, do they know they can hurt them? Do they think they're actors? Like you can't tell how much they've bought into the fantasy of what's happening and how much like they're just like role playing this thing. Like, do they have direction on like whether or not they can hurt these people? It's so crazy.
I mean, that like the flamethrower alone, they made a flamethrower that puts out about a 30-40 foot flame on the thing that they literally blow up a car with.
Right, but if I remember right, like nobody really gets hurt significantly on the show, right? Like if anybody gets injured, like it's pretty mild.
There was one dude who got into an accident with a solar powered car, like got this big gash in his head. But like other than that, it was pretty.
But definitely nothing from like a conflict, right?
Yeah, they never have the marauding people like really hurt them, but they do have those people like come in and smash their food. They have them smash solar panels, like they and the final battle where the marauders are like trying to ruin everything and to see if these people can get out alive. Like they're really going for it. And then the people in the colony set up this Home Alone style system of traps. They have this big net that comes down and catches them.
Like, they're like, like greasing the floors with oil and whatever. They're slipping. It's so crazy.
Got it. So I forget where your ratings were, but where do you have your ratings now?
I mean, I think I had it top third, and I still have it top third. It is a fascinating show, and like some of the people they had on it, like this guy John, who is this crazy inventor, like he's just amazing. Like the things he makes are really good, and they do a really good job of actually like sort of like he'll sort of explain what they're going to do that week, and then they sort of cut away, and someone will explain to you like how that technology works, or like if this was in place at some point like in history, and that's really interesting. Like they did a really good job of that.
Cool.
How does that compare to the Savage Builds Iron Man suit that we watched last week?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know, because it's a whole different situation, because in that one it's basically like they're going and finding the absolute most cutting edge tech to try and make this thing as awesome as possible, and in this one it's the opposite of that. It's just like we've got nothing and we're just trying to make something work, and just the stuff they come up with is just like it's amazing. Yeah.
All right. I think that's going to be it.
I got a really quick one.
Okay.
The Spirit of the
I'm
Fourth.
getting pretty.
It's very quick. Barbecue Masters. It's top of the top, cream of the crop.
Yes.
I've seen the whole season.
Yes.
I gotta say, I'm nominating it right now for best format of the year.
Wow.
The bracket was stellar. The first 6 episodes, you get fresh characters. The 7th and 8th episodes are the semifinals, and the 9th is the final. And it is wild and epic, and it was a great watch. I highly recommend.
Cool.
If you want to get in the spirit of the 4th and you're doing some barbecuing, cue it up.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you learn some techniques?
I've learned some techniques. I've been tweaking some dry rubs, recipes based off of some of the things in here. I feel like I could actually approach barbecuing a brisket now, having watched like briskets get done a good bit. I'm also real excited about the idea of building my own barbecue pit at some point.
Ooh.
Slight spoil, the final episode, they are not allowed to use their actual barbecue pits. They must use a cinder block handcrafted barbecue pit for a whole hog for the grand title of Bull Barbecue Kingsford Grand Masters Grand Champion, something like that. It was great.
That's
Anyways,
awesome.
That's it. It was great.
All right. Well, I think that's enough for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at WhoPutThisOn. You can find us on Facebook.com/WhoPutThisOn. Email us questions and suggestions at WhoPutThisOn@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys.
Chris,
next
what's
time.
your verdict on the hot tub pod?
I have to hear it. I don't know. For
Top
now,
third.
it's I don't know. That's where I'm going to leave it.
Turn on the Jets.
Welcome to the mic test. We testing them mics.
Truck night in America.
Pod night in America.
Hot tub night in America.
America.
What else do you have to say about America, Brian?
America. Fuck yeah.